Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. The water's fine. Welcome to... I was just about to say welcome to My Wednesday Comics. It's not My Wednesday Comics yet. It's a Monday stream. Surprise. A Monday stream for me because this past weekend on Saturday was free comic book day. And it was such a fun day. It was a beautiful day here in the city. And it was a fun day because, I mean, who doesn't like free comic books, right? Like that, I don't know. It's just a great idea. Free comic books, you can't go wrong. So I had a really great time visiting a couple stores that are participating in Free Comic Book Day and picking up some books from those stores. So the way it goes is basically local comic book stores will participate in Free Comic Book Day, and they're handing out free comic books. And there's usually about a dozen, I'd say, free books. And they range from kids' books all the way up to mainstream comics to independent stuff, and sometimes even like some mature audience, adult stuff. So anyway, it's free. So anybody can walk into a store and pick up these books. So a lot of the times these stores will put in like a per person limit. So some stores I've been at, like, you get 3 books, or some stores you can get 5 books, or some stores you can only pick, you can't touch the kids' books, whatever. Everybody's different. And it has to do with the inventory that they decide to carry and the amount of people that come through the store, yada, yada. So I was the smart one in going to a couple stores because I knew that there was probably going to be more than my limit of books that I wanted to pick up. I don't want to gyp the store by like taking too many. So what I did was I went to a couple stores, a couple of my local stores, so that I could get some books at one store and some books at another store. So I walked out with a decent haul. So it was really fun, really exciting. Some surprises in there, and we will go through that today. Like I was going to save it for My Wednesday Comics this week, which was my weekly stream about the comics I pick up on a weekly basis. Weekly stream on a weekly basis. Duh. It's my weekly stream on Wednesdays when I go to the store and pick up some new books. But I just figured, like, the amount of books that I walked away with, and also I got a couple of packages in the mail. I just thought, wow, this is going to be way too much to go over in one Wednesday. So thought, hey, I got some time Monday during the day. Let's fire it up. Let's get an extra day of comics in here. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys today, and all my favorite people rolling in here into the chat as we start this section which I like to call Shooting the Fat, or Shoot the Fat. Mark's Music Obsession, what's up? So good to see you, Mark. Oh, haha. Still muted from my last stream. If you guys remember, hold on, I'll do that again for you, Mark. That sound effects button was still muted from my last stream for those of you guys who remembered. Had a little bit of a technical issue. I don't know what the heck happened, actually, to be honest, but for some odd reason, the audio of one of my old videos was playing in the background, and there was no way I could stop it. So anytime I tried to play a sound effect, I'd have to unmute, and you'd hear my voice talking in the background. It was really weird. Fortunately, there was some update on Ecamm, which is the software I use for my streams, that happened today. So I hope that fixes it. So yeah, fingers crossed, nothing weird technically happens on the stream today, but you never know. It's my stream, and there's a lot of weird stuff that always happens. Comrade Sammy is here. Yo. Comrade Sammy says she's not busy today. Let's go. That's right. And Mark said that he's done working for the day. So perfect. Like, what a perfect time. Who would have thought that Monday, right around pre-lunch time for me, is a good time for you guys. So that's awesome. I'm excited. Timmy Mello's here. Excuse me, Timmy Mello with the new profile pic. What's up, Timmy Mello?
And the Guardians are headed to October.
was just telling Timmy Mello, sorry to hear about your Cavs, buddy. Cavs, who are incredible, one of the top teams in the NBA this year, started their second series in the playoffs, and they lost the first game to the Indiana Pacers, which was kind of a shocker, actually, to be honest. I thought the Cavs were just going to steamroll in there, but all of these games, all of these playoff series have been super tight. Even if like the record doesn't show, the games themselves have been pretty much tight. So it's awesome. My team, the Golden State Warriors, they just eked out a win. Their Game 7 win against the Houston Rockets, and I'm so proud of them. Just excited to be a fan for that team because that was a tough series, and everything clicked in that 7-game. I, to be honest, thought they weren't going to win it, so I was really excited that they pulled it off, and it was a great game. I stayed up late watching the replays last night, so really excited. Timmy Mello says it was a wake-up call. Yeah, I have faith in your Cavs. They have been so on point this year. I love Donovan Mitchell. I think he's an incredible player, and I think he deserves a lot more attention than he gets. He's just so so complete of a player. So yeah, I have faith in them. Oh yeah, don't forget, that's me, my own comment. Don't forget to vote in the poll. I set up here a pre-poll. Let's see, where are we at right now? So there's a few things. I have my free comic book day books that I want to look at. And then I got 2 packages in the mail. Right now, it looks like box 1 is winning. I don't even know which one is box 1. I'm going to say the smaller one is box 1. I got one of these and one of these. And yeah. Box 1, box 2. Whoops. I really can't tell the difference. But hold on, let me make sure I get the label off this one before I even unlock it. So it looks like box 1 is winning. I'm going to say box 1 will probably be the first thing we'll go over. But let me just make sure I get everybody in the chat before I start. So yeah, it's fun. Unboxings, free comic book day, and I went to a used bookstore and picked up a really cool book that wasn't on my radar at all, but it's awesome. So I'm going to go through that one too today. I didn't put that in the poll, but the poll only allowed me to have 3 choices, so that's why. Comrade Semi says, I know, I wish I could give you my full attention, mischievous self, but alas, I will be busy that day. She said she's going to be busy on Wednesday. We'll see, Comrade Sammy. We'll see. We have ways to draw you out into the comic wild. I will ninja my way in here somehow on Wednesday. You mark my words. Okay. Where's the rest of the mod squad? I don't know. There's the cool ones are here. That's what Mark says. They weren't expecting it. This is unexpected. I think there is something to have. I've always thought this, ever since I started streaming. There is something to having a regular scheduled program so people can bank on it or expect it. But it's also fun to have those random streams that just pop up whenever, and it also exposes, at least I find it exposes the channel to people who are not normally viewing your channel. So the audience that's there on Wednesday is different from the audience that's there on Monday. So, but hopefully the rest of the crew will come moseying in on here. Don't tell me they're gonna miss the one day I'm not busy. You're just gonna have to, Comrade Sammy, you're just going to have to do the work of more than one chat ninja. Timmy Mello says, my comic store permitted us to take one of each, but there was a ton of comics to like, so I got a bit greedy. Take one of each. That's good, right? But you mean you got more than one of each? Yeah, it was cool. I mean, because it's free, you're more than likely to pick up a book that you might hesitate on. But there were some cool gems that I ran across. And one book in particular is related to, not to get ahead of myself, but one book in particular that I got is related to a book I picked up, a special book that I picked up last week. So it's kind of connected. I don't know how they got a hold of those books, but they threw it in free comic book day and I was really excited. So we'll look at that too. That's why your voice was playing over my soundbite. Yes, it was for some crazy reason. I triggered a video of my own that was playing behind, and I couldn't figure out where it was. It wasn't hidden. It wasn't like, because Ecamm works with layers. You can put cameras, you can put overlays, and sometimes things can be hidden behind a layer. But I couldn't find it for the life of me. Timmy Mello says the new profile picture was definitely due. That's awesome. I need to update. Sometimes I wonder if I should be updating my profile picture. Part of me is like, oh, you got to stay consistent. People recognize it. It's you online. I use the same profile picture for YouTube as I do on X and Instagram. But yeah, another part of me is like, it'd be cool to do a new picture. So maybe in the future. No matter where Golden State is, they are never the underdogs in a series. It's true. They're tried and true champions. You can never. I mean, if you have Steph Curry on your team, you can never count that dude out. He can. Yeah, he's like a magician on the court. So always fun to watch him play. How close to 3,000 hours, Rocky? Mark, always keeping me honest. Let's check. 3,000 hours is referring to the watch hours. Once we hit that, we're at 2790, Mark. So that's 210 hours away from 3,000 watch hours. And that's of April 30th, right? So it's, as I've mentioned before, it's always about a week behind. So yeah, that's exciting. That's really exciting. That jumped up since I last checked, and we're at 541 subscribers as of right now. 541 subscribers. It's almost like it took us a while to get to that 500 mark, and then the 441, they just kind of slipped in here without me knowing. 41 new people just kind of walked into the classroom, and here they are. So that's really exciting. Thank you. Thanks for always checking, Mark. The other cool thing is I have been playing around with more. I mentioned this to you guys last week. I have been playing more with like editing down, specifically from my master study videos, editing down small clips and trying them out on like Instagram Reels and also YouTube Shorts. And those have been getting great engagement. So I'm going to keep doing that. That seems like it's a good direction. And the other thing that I've been working on for the YouTube Shorts is taking my 15-second videos that I post, that I do just like quick reviews of books, and turning it more into like a comics nah. Like basically the premise being like, after you see this 15-second clip of this comic, would you buy it? Would you, or is it good or is it bad? Like a quick bite there. So I'm reworking those right now, and that'll be really fun. So yeah, all these kind of changes, we need updates. We need to keep things fresh here. So all these kind of changes on these channel have been fun to figure out and try out. And that's kind of the beauty of YouTube, at least, is like, you can just try something out. If it clicks, it clicks. If not, move on to the next thing. You got to be pretty nimble with this stuff. And, but it's all fun. It's all really fun. Comrade Sammy says, open the packages first. I will. It seems like that's what the poll, well, not true. 4 votes. Unboxing box 1 is 50%, 2 votes for that, and 2 votes for free comic day books. So maybe we got to wait for one more person in here to like tip it over. Timmy Mello says, I was also hoping to pick up the Moon Knight issue you reviewed, but unfortunately a comic store didn't have that issue. Oh, yeah. The Fista Khonshu Dev Pramel, I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. Great artist. And he's done multiple issues. It's not just that one issue, Timmy Mello. So just look around for that particular series. I think he's drawn maybe, I want to say 3 or 4 issues of that. That's the first issue I picked of it. I'm contemplating whether or not I'm going to backtrack and buy previous issues. But if I know Marvel, or if I know comics, they will probably compile his run. So yeah, don't worry. Do the work of more than one chat ninja. That's right. What does that even mean? I don't know. That's true. You'll just have to, I don't know. Double up. You'll have to do the ninja multiply. You've seen that, right? In like anime or like live action ninja movies where they do the multiply. That's what you got to do. I only got one of each, a few choices, but there's a lot of different titles. I think I picked up 12 different comics on Saturday. Yes. Yeah, I was surprised at how many I picked up because usually I'm like, there have been years I've picked up all the books on Free Comic Book Day, and it's taken me months to like read them because I'm like, I'm not that interested in them. But I was pretty surprised with the books I got this week. I mean, this Saturday. Why is everybody streaming literally right now? I don't know about everybody else, Emo Trash, and welcome. Good to see you. We were wondering where you were. I'm assuming Monday is a popular day. A lot of people who don't stream over the weekend want to start off the week fresh of ideas and videos. Start it off right. But I don't know. Ask them. I'm doing it because of Free Comic Book Day, and I couldn't wait to share with you guys what I had. Timmy Mel says, one day I'll have a definitive profile picture, probably when I go full digital media. Nice. Be happy, Rocky is streaming today. I'm not busy, so I'll be able to help be a nuisance. Emo Trash was busy. Then I took a break for dinner, and now there's too much happening. Dinner? Okay. Dinner, you're like in the DC area, right? So like around that area. But dinner, is it really dinner time? Or is that area where they call lunch dinner? And then you have like breakfast, dinner, supper. I know that's how it was when I lived in the South for a bit, certain areas in the South. So is that what you're calling dinner? Because isn't that really early? If it's just regular dinner, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you're eating dinner, isn't it super early? Or you must eat a really early dinner? I don't know. I'm skipping lunch for this, guys. Like, this is important stuff. I'm skipping lunch. Hey, Rocky. What's up? Big Boy Burgers. Bonus like. Mark's Music Obsession. Hitting us from both angles here. I don't think you want multiple of me, Rocky. The world couldn't handle that. Dinner was made and I ate it. Oh, all right. Well, there you go. That's pretty simple. All right, I'm gonna end the poll. We got our uneven votes to push us over the edge. So it looks like unboxing is gonna win, which usually it does. Unboxing does usually makes it. People are always curious about what is in the box. So we'll start with unboxing. Isn't it 3, almost 4 for you? I'm sorry. Sorry for the coughing. You guys know the story of that. Isn't it 3, almost 4 for you, Emo? It's lunch here in my South. Yeah. What's going on, Emo? I normally have dinner at 4 to 5 anyway. My goodness. That's too early. Too early for me. Not my fault. I like with old people of condition. Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. My parents are kind of like that too. They do eat early. The way when I eat, it gets like later and later these days too, which that's not that great either. Okay. Shall we start? We're not shooting the fat anymore. I caught up. See, that wasn't bad. Where are we at? It's because some of the usuals are not here yet. But look, I caught up in less than 30 minutes. I caught up on the chat. How cool is that? But we do have a lot to get through, so that's fine. I don't mind wasting too much time at the beginning of the stream because we do have a lot to get through. Here's the first unboxing. I got 2 of these boxes. Oh, dang. This is going to take a while. I didn't even know this one was coming yet. All right, this is pretty cool, guys. I was not expecting this yet. So this is pretty rad. Boom, bitty boom. Let me just make sure this is in focus. It's better here, I guess. So this is Reaper Destroyer. This is by Joe Sontag. I do follow him on YouTube and social media. I catch some of his streams sometimes, not all of them, but this is his indie book that he produced. And I'm really excited about this one because it's got this like, yeah, I'm a little like taken back because I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even know this was coming. But it's got such a like image Mark Silvestri vibe to it. And when I remember seeing when you launched the campaign, was like, oh man, that's cool, like pretty cool. And he's got some ties to some heavy hitters in the industry who helped out on with the book, like inking on the book. So I got 2 editions of this. One was the regular edition, and I loved that he offered a black and white edition. So that's here too, and then a bunch of little extras here. So this is pretty cool. I guess I got 2 packs of extras. So let's go through the book. This first one here. Oh. Can't take that right now. Sorry. All right, everybody's wondering what the heck is going on here because, sorry, I just got to answer this. Okay. The world's got to wait a little bit. Hopefully it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. People are not used to me streaming on this time either, just like you guys. So they're like, what the heck? All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, cool. Wow, there's so many goodies here that are coming here. Hang on, I thought I saw somebody pop in here. Oh, there she is. K-pop junkie, what's up, K-pop? K-pop, check out her channel. She's been doing an AAPI special month of Asian American Pacific Islander creators in the indie comic scene. Go check out her channel. That's been fun to just see the guests that she's having on there. Really cool. Okay, I'm gonna look at this. Wow, there's too much stuff. It's all these floating pieces here. Here's Reaper Destroyer. And spoiler alert, if you back this book and don't want to see the spoilers, then maybe you should close your eyes. So yeah, here like Joe did the writing and the art and the inks, but he also got some big time inkers to help him out. I'm not quite sure how he pulled it off, but they're huge. Like Joe Weems, Matt Banning, Bat, Chance Wolfe, Marlo Alquiza, all these guys have history inking some of the big image titles in the late 90s, early 2000s. So pretty awesome. Then look who's here. Eric Weathers, the ever busy, always hustling Eric Weathers, who's doing the letters of this book. It's cool. Joe's shared these pages on his campaign, this page here of Reaper Destroyer, so that's really cool to see. Printing's nice on this. Colors are great. It's just a cool look. It's a total vibe that he captured of those books from the 90s, 2000s. Witchblade, Darkness, Spawn. It's got all that feel to it. So if you like those kind of books, this is probably a good one for you to back. It's cool, and his character's cool. Yeah, if you don't want spoilers, maybe fast forward this part of the stream if you're not watching it live. If you are watching it live, close your eyes. Go watch a couple other streams in the meantime. It was cool. Cool stuff. Really dynamic layouts. It's fun. I think the thing that attracted me the most of this story was just how much it felt like those 90s books. And I know what I'm going to do because he had all these inkers, like he gives the pages of what they inked, which pages they inked. I'm totally gonna go back, and as I read this closely, I'll be like, oh, let me see, pages 6 to 8 were inked by so and so. I always love to see that. They had this one issue of Spiderman that the McFarlane Spiderland, when he launched it on his own. And there was one issue, maybe one or two issues, where I think it was one issue where he had a whole bunch of guest inkers, including like Rob Liefeld and Scott Williams, like all these like big time inkers. And for some odd reason, I don't know if he needed it to get the book done on time or if he just did it for the fun of it. But they each inked maybe like 1 or 2 pages each. But he didn't say in the book which pages those inkers inked. So for me, total comic nerd, it was like a detective thing trying to figure out just based on the lines and the marks they put down who inked what page. And you could see the difference. Like there were some very, very distinct pages that you could tell were different inkers. So that was awesome. It was kind of this like detective just trying to figure out who inked what. And I know there's people who have since like recorded videos saying which inker or which person inked what. So it's pretty awesome. That's cool. Wow, that looks just like totally influenced by like Mark Silvestri, The Darkness, Witchblade. Totally that kind of story. It's great. I know nothing really about the story of Reaper Destroyer. It's a cool name, Reaper Destroyer. So I'm excited to dive into this, and I believe he's already working on book 2 right now. He's a cool design, though. Very cool. It'd be cool to do a pinup of Reaper Destroyer. Cool. Cool. Boom. That's awesome. Classic. Turn the book for a landscape double pager. Had a variant cover by Brett Booth. Come on now. Yeah, I don't know. Joe has like some serious ties to a lot of people, a lot of working professional comic book artists. So that's cool. That's the original, or the standard cover. And then this, I think, was like a little bit of an Ashcan that you could, I don't know if it was, I can't remember. I backed this so long ago, so I can't remember if this was included or if I added it as an extra, but this is fun. I love this size, this Ashcan size, and I love that it's in black and white. Yeah, it just looks so different seeing it just in straight black and white art. Very cool. Some character sketches. Nice. Shelby. Good old Shelby American Discord. Did a pinup here. Maybe it was a variant cover too. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So that was in the first grouping here. Then there's some supplemental stuff here. Okay, so I think because I ordered both, that's right, because I ordered both the standard colored version and the black and white version, Joe included two copies of the extras. So that's awesome. I have doubles of these extras. K-pop says, oh yes, I'm waiting on this one too. Awesome. Comment Sammy says, I'm not eating dinner, but I am eating beef jerky. That's good. Beef jerky could be hit or miss for me, depending on the brand and how I'm feeling. Okay, so this is something I've never seen before. Just trying to get all this stuff out. You can do it. So cool little supplementals here. Always fun to see what indie artists do. So there's a little sticker, cute sticker. Some trading cards. So I can zoom in a little bit more. Some trading cards here. That was right. This is, I guess Joe drew that image. I don't know who drew this image. I don't think it looks like there's a different signature. Nothing written on there of who drew it. He just has this, I guess this is his, what he calls his comic company, Superior Press. This looks like, yeah, this is Joe's drawing as well, Joe Sontag's drawing. I'm not sure who this artist is. Blakey? Can't read him. That's cool. Trading cards are always fun. Oh, here's some more. This is, I don't know who this artist is. Sorry. Just want to try and get it all here on screen. And then this looks like, yep, this is a Dale Keown. I know this was, the sketch cover was a sketch cover variant was an option for this, but I tend to like the original artists, their version of the cover the best, as opposed to some other artist doing it. Just when I'm backing a book, I tend to like the original artist cover. Then this is pretty cool. This is like a metal. This is really cool. This is like a metal. You guys can't even see it. Oh, there you go. A metal like chromium card. I've never seen something like this. But yeah, it's like a metal plate. The colors, does some cool stuff with the colors when it's printed on this metal surface. Rounded edges here. That's cool. It's not a hologram, but it almost kind of feels like there's some depth to it just because of the printing process. That's neat. It's a cool drawing too. Awesome. Oh, there's one more thing here. Okay, so that, and then some prints here. John Joseph Ball. I'm assuming it's like this, if his signature is like this. And Barton. That's cool. Anything in the back? No. And I'm not sure what this one is or who drew this one. Here's the Dale Keown print again too. Very cool to see it closer up. Dale Keown's pencil art, it's always amazing to see. He's got so much like shading and just like contour, just beautiful tones in his pencil art. All right, so that's all the supplementals, at least that I got. These are great. It's a good haul here of different things, different size things. You feel like you're getting more for your money when you get these extras. But usually I usually keep them with the comic book. Like I don't take them out. I don't have a separate way of like displaying the collector cards or anything like that. And then I'm going to open up this black and white edition, which is awesome. It's got a signature, Joe's signature here. All May Long, K-pop says, for her, what she's doing with the AAPI. So it's awesome. Lots of content there. Gothic's just got back from California, and there's chatters over there I need to catch up with as well. Oh, okay. I love the ghost pepper jerky from Bucky's, Comrade Sammy. Bucky's. I've heard about Bucky's. I've never visited it. I've seen pictures. My parents have sent me pictures of Bucky's. Where did they? I think it was in Florida that they visited Bucky's, but I've never visited it myself. This guy is really cool. Whoever he is, Emo Trash says. Ghost pepper. It sounds like one of those super hot, could kill you if you're not careful flavors. Comrade Sammy just has the old Trapper peppered beef jerky from Walmart. Quality. I can definitely see that Witchblade Darkness inspiration. Yeah, for sure. He's got that pumping in his veins. So this is awesome. Really awesome to see the black and whites. And he's done it. He did it just like the artist editions do, where they scan the whole page and you can still see the like notations and the like borders of the pages of the original pages here. That's great. Well done. This is a nice print quality too. I like it. I'm always like filing away in my brain like print quality for people, especially people who are producing independent stuff, because for future reference, when I get to that point, I'm like, oh yeah, I really liked how that paper felt, or that printing quality was. It was cool, man. I think this character too and this artwork just lends itself to black and white. Not that there was anything wrong with the colors, but oh, I just love this black and white. Yeah, you can really see how the inker like attack the page. Is this 4? Wait, how's the numbering going here? 14, 19, 18, 19, 14, 15, 16. I'm just trying to 13, I guess 14? So 14. Huh? Did they skip 14? I don't see a number 14 here. I was just wondering who inked 14. 15, 13, 12, 13. This is 14. So who inked 14? 1, 2, 3, 12, 13. Yeah. We're missing 14 and who inked 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. We're missing those two, unless the numbering is just different. How funny. I'll have to look at that closer. There's a couple of page numbers missing of who inked what. Yeah, this is great. Great to see it in black and white. I remember when he put that option up, because I already just bought the regular book, but then when he put the option up for the black and white, I was like, oh, yes, I need to get a hold of that. I love seeing even though this is solid black in the final, I love seeing the different brush strokes, ink strokes. I love this scythe or axe. It's a great design. This is page 32. Corey King inked this. $39. So yeah, who inked 39? Oh, maybe. Oh, so I'm guessing that must be it. If they're not listed under the additional inks, then it was Joe who inked it himself. That makes sense. Okay. That was not an editing issue. That was my understanding issue. It's cool. You can see some of the whiteout here. Whiteout marks. Nice. That's a great black and white. Great black and white version. Oh, it looks like he drew the double pager on one regular size page, but then just blew it up for the issue to land on an impact at the end there. Cool. Dale Keown. I love that this cover, this is the black and white version of this cover. Very cool. Nice. I love the stock. This is great. The printing quality of both of these books is awesome. Has a nice feel to it. Yeah, Wonder where he printed it. We'll have to find out. So cool. Reaper Destroyer. What a first unboxing. What a treat. That's a dense unboxing for the first one on a Monday. Love it. Well done. Well done. Great stuff. If you're a fan of Witchblade, Darkness, Image, this is a good book to back. And I know that Joe streams a bunch of different comic stuff, like reviews or just comics talk. He seems to be a cool dude, so go check out his channel, Joe Sontag. All right, let's see. Mark Silvestri and Michael Turnerisms. That's right, Timmy Mello. Absolutely. Finch also kind of can see some Finch, all that. Those guys that all kind of came out of the gene pool of Mark Silvestri. Mark's Music Obsession says, I eat really spicy stuff sometimes. Comrade Emo Trash, I have a request. I need you to go bug John. Tell him to get in here. Metal card is great. Yeah, it's cool. I've never seen that before. And the printing on that is awesome. So that's cool. You know, I had Mexican cola to go with my jerky, but I drank it all. Joe Ball. Yes, that was one of those was Joe Ball. Nice. I thought it was him. He's a rising star comic artist in the indie scene. Oh, okay. Cool. He's all over lately. More Michael Turnerisms. This is the Pepper Heat chart. Mark's Music Obsession gave us. All right, I gotta look at this. This is too good. Oh my gosh. So wait. I'm trying to understand this chart here, Mark. So chocolate habanero, red Savina habanero. Oh, here it is. Ghost pepper. Holy moly, that's like 3 from the top, Mark. That's crazy. You can do a ghost pepper. I think I probably float around maybe like here, like Scotch bonnet habanero, maybe. I don't think I go any higher than that before it's like, what's the point? But a ghost pepper, oh my goodness. I don't think I could do that. I know there's videos where people, the hot wings videos, I've seen those. Those are kind of funny, where they get celebrities and they're like being interviewed, but they're also eating hot wings and they just get progressively hotter. Okay, here's the second unboxing. What the? Why am I so unawares of what it is I'm getting? Okay, so looks like whatever this is, the mailer wrapped it in one of these cool trade weeklies. It's like Comic Shop News or something. It's kind of like a newspaper that comes out with comic news. So he wrapped it like a present. That's kind of cool. I love this little magazine. You can get them for free at some comic book stores. They'll cover it. Well, that's a good way of reusing it. Oh! I know what this is. Oh, yes, I know what this is. Okay, wait, before I reveal what this is. Ghost peppers were one of the spiciest peppers at one point. Not sure how long ago that was, though. Mark, are you sure you have taste buds? The amount of heat from those peppers haven't burned them off yet. Metal cards, bookmarks, and prints are awesome, K-pop says. I'm forever grateful for those David Finch art classes. I bought them all. Nice, Timmy Mello. This must be great. One of the things I'm thinking of doing on my next master study, which for those of you know, I'm in the middle of recreating a Frank Miller Daredevil page. I'm in the inking stage on that. So one of the things I did research, not research, but I did find the video I was talking about where David Finch, he has a YouTube channel as well, and he interviewed Klaus Janson, who was the inker on this Daredevil page that I'm inking. And he's inked Frank Miller a ton of stuff, just an incredible inker and a penciler. But in this interview on David Finch's YouTube channel, he's talking to Klaus, and they're both inking at the same time. So it's awesome because you can actually see how he uses his tools. One of the things I was wondering while I was working on this Daredevil page was, is Klaus using a brush? Is he using a nib? How does he get the line quality? My hunch was he was using a brush, but based on watching him work, it seems like he uses a combo of both nib and brush. And you can see it in real time as he's working on it. So I was thinking of playing that video the next time I stream and do my master study video. I was thinking of playing that video in the corner. So it's like we can sit there as I'm inking, watch David Finch. He's inking his own stuff. Klaus Janson's inking his own stuff. It's a really fascinating stream, and I thought it would be great background noise, background music to play while I was inking. So yeah. Finch is amazing. He's an amazing artist. Hot ones. Yes, that's the wings thing. Restaurants have you sign a waiver when eating ghost pepper, chili, or wings. They don't want you to die, or if you do die, they don't want you to sue them. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I had to sign one for a ghost pepper pizza a couple years ago. The wing challenges are easy for me. I love wings. All right. Inking while hosting an interview is wild. Yes, but they were both inking too. So I think it was cool. I think yeah, it turned out really cool, and it was fascinating conversation. So it's worth it for me. It'll be like super meta for me to be inking and watching them ink, talking about inking as they're inking. Too much inking. All right, here's the second package. Check this out. So I found out from some of, I think it was local comic book stores or something. I found on online somewhere that they had released an Ashcan version of Batman Hush 2. They called it like a launch day Ashcan, but they were really expensive just for a tiny Ashcan book. So I just kept scouring the web, and these things tend to, if your store, I didn't see any of them at any stores I was at, but they tend to be hard to find, or like they get expensive the longer you wait to try and find it. But I thought it was cool because, again, black and white, Ashcan, you guys know I've talked about these formats ad nauseum. I love the different format, the smaller Ashcan, like little teaser trailer of a particular book. I love black and white, seeing the artwork in its original black and white form. And Batman Hush 2 is like killing it at the stores right now because it's really popular. It's Jim Lee, Jeff Loeb, Scott Williams, hitting up the next chapter of the Hush universe or whatever that they created. So it's been doing really well. You guys seen me talk about and buy the giant size version of it. So this is kind of the reverse. The giant size is like the IMAX. This is more like a, I don't know, 16 millimeter film, black and white film version, just of a few pages of the second issue for Batman Hush 2. So I found this on eBay. Somebody was selling it on eBay. I was like, awesome. But the price they were selling it at was pretty cheap to buy 10 of them. So I have 10 copies of this because it was really cheap to get, as opposed to buying just one copy, paying for shipping. It would have been the equivalent of buying these 10 for some. It must have been sold by a store, like they're just trying to get rid of them. So now I have 10 copies of this. But what I was thinking of doing eventually, somewhere down the road, this is how planning things out just for the future of this channel and all. As I'm getting more into like doing commissions or sketch covers, I was just thinking like what would be cool stuff to send out to people who are potentially like memberships, that people that pay for memberships or whatever, like just how to build out this channel to like make some money off of it. But one of the things I thought what would be cool to include in packages that I sent out would be some of these Ashcans, just because it's neat to be talking about something on stream and for you guys to be a part of that in the chat. But it's another thing for you to receive something in the mail that is what we talked about. So I thought I could use an extra 9 copies of the Ashcan. Why not? It was a lot cheaper for me to buy it this way than it was to buy one issue or one copy of this. So that's why I did it. So the fun thing, or the neat thing to see that in this black and white version, and if I could put money on it and guess, my hunch is they will eventually release some sort of black and white version of Hush 2, the whole thing. But for now, since this is the only one in this Ashcan, it's really cool to see in this particular sequence. It's like a flashback sequence, and Jim Lee did this like ink wash to designate the difference, and it's nice to see it compared to the hard like ink on paper, like in comparison to. So like this wash and then like the really like classic Jim Lee Scott Williams inks. Beautiful. It's great. I've said this on stream, but I've been really impressed with Jim Lee's art on this series. He's getting up there in age, older. For him to jump back and do another Hush, I'm like, is it going to be as good as some of his older artwork? But it's been really good. His artwork has been really good. It's like he hasn't skipped a beat, him or Scott Williams. But one of the interesting things that I learned from that David Finch, Klaus Janson YouTube video is, I guess Scott Williams had some back issues, and he had to change the way that he was inking and what he was inking with, which is a shame. But that's kind of the like comes with a job a little bit. You're doing so much work. I can't even imagine how many pages Scott Williams has inked in his whole career. Tens of thousands of comic book pages, sitting at your desk, working hard, hunched over your desk doing this. Your body will start breaking down. I mean, I can already feel my body breaking down. I haven't even done anything like this in comics. This is cool. It's printed on this like slightly newsprinty paper. That's a great cover in black and white. I love that. So yeah, maybe sometime down the road, guys, once we get like paid subscriptions or Patreon or whatever it is as we build this out, these will be in the mix somehow, somewhere. Batman Hush Ashcans, because I got multiple copies. But it's cool. It's really cool. And they don't include any of the dialogue bubbles too. It's awesome. All right, that was the second unboxing. How about that? That's good stuff. I could end the stream on that already. Really good stuff. Okay, where are we at? Oh yeah, we said that. You're a madman, Mark. Inkception, absolutely. Someone must have messed up on estimating the price per bulk. I don't know what it was. It was way cheaper for me to get 10. I mean, it wasn't cheaper in a sense like 10 books were cheaper than buying one. It wasn't that cheap, but the cost on shipping and all that kind of stuff, it ended up being like, well, if I just pay a couple more dollars, I can get 10 copies of it versus one. So that was my thinking. My stupid collector's thinking. All right, here's the first. Okay, we're getting into now the books on Free Comic Book Day. This one is okay. Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Universe. I love this cover. I think Patrick Gleason, I believe, is the artist on this cover. I don't think he's drawing a book. I think he just did the cover. But it's John Romita Jr. story. And I'm not sure. I think it's a prelude story, so I'm not sure if it's like a snapshot of what's going to be released in the future, or if it's just a prelude specifically for Free Comic Book Day. So sometimes they do that. They'll do sometimes they'll do an original story just for the Free Comic Book Day comic, or sometimes they'll just print the first, 8-9 pages of a story that's eventually coming out. But I think this one might just be for Free Comic Book Day. It's funny because John Romita Jr., man, he's still working. This guy's been working forever in comics, and he's still working, still solid. But he definitely has hit this point with his art where it's like, not boiled down. I mean, it's almost like how Mike Mignola's gotten to his art, where it's like it's boiled down to the essence of John Romita Jr. There's no added fluff, no extras, not trying to prove anything. He's like, I'm John Romita Jr. You know what you're going to get. Here you go. This character is a cool design, though. I love his mask. Dr. Kabuki is his name. That's a cool mask. Comrade Sammy says, cool. If you want to send me a free comic book, I won't complain. You never know, Comrade Sammy. You never know. Okay, what is this story? This looks like a Miles Morales story. Cool. Who is the artwork on this? Oh, the artist on this. Jonas Scharf. Don't know him. I would have thought it was like Sanford Green or something. Has a very similar vibe to that. I saw this cover too. I don't like this cover. Who's the artist on this cover? I don't like this face at all on Miles Morales. It's a weird expression. This is Sarah Pacelli? No kidding. She was one of the first artists on Miles Morales Spider-Man. That doesn't look like her work at all. Kafu is the artist here. So yeah, it's just all a bunch of different short stories. It's a big advertising thing with Free Comic Book Day. This is what you get, but it's also a nice way, like this kind of stuff I like because it'll give you like a broad overview of this is what's coming out, or these are books you might be interested in. So it's like part comic, part trade magazine, part advertisement. Here you go, Timmy Mello. Volume 1 right here of Devmalya Pramanik, of his run. This is volume 1 of his stuff. So yeah, he's there. This is coming out in the summer. So those issues that he did. Okay, cool. I did pick up that issue several weeks ago. Issue 1. I'm not going to keep up with that book, but the artwork on that was pretty cool. Okay, that was the first one. Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Universe. Also keeping in line with Marvel. This one was kind of cool. I was interested in this one because Humberto Ramos is the artist here. Humberto Ramos came out during the Image, or at least I've become aware of his talent during the Image boom in the late 90s, early 2000s. And he was almost like second wave. So it's like Image came out, you had Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee, Eric Larson, Jim Valentino, Will Portacio. So those guys started Image, huge. All their books, were like amazing, massive. And then you had a second wave of people that came out. There was like Sam Keith, Dale Keown's Pitt, Sam Keith's Max, a few other books around that time. Yeah, a bunch of other random books. And then they had like another imprint come out called Cliffhanger Studios. That was J. Scott Campbell, who was one of the creators of Gen 13. We looked at those Gen 13 books last Wednesday. Humberto Ramos and Joe Madureira. What a trio of like super talented guys. So I loved that. That was because they kind of took what Image did and they just like were like the next generation of that. So that was the Cliffhanger imprint. And Humberto Ramos's book was called Crimson, which was like a vampire superhero kind of thing, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I've always thought his artwork was neat. It had a cool mix of like European art and also manga art. Yet at one point his characters had like super huge hands and like really big eyes. They just kept getting bigger and bigger. His style has since evolved. I haven't kept up with his career necessarily, but I was intrigued because he was named as the artist on this new Fantastic Four. So it's cool. He's totally toned down the like exaggeration in his style, but it's great. It's still a cool style. Yeah, so this is a new book coming out. Fantastic Four. Obviously in time for like the movie deciding to relaunch the book or whatever and go back to the classic four. Mr. Fantastic, Sue Richards, Human Torch, or Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and The Thing. And then this is a snapshot of, or a snippet of Giant Size X-Men. I don't know anything about this one. It's cool. Some cool art here. This is just everybody's in class. I guess maybe this is they're writing this during the time that the original Giant Size X-Men came out, because these are all older or original versions of those characters. Was this Kamala Khan? Ms. Marvel? Oh yeah, this is taking place in the past. Yeah, I've never been a big fan of her character at all. I don't know what this is. Not too into that one. So yeah, Humberto Ramos, Giant Size X-Men. The artist was Ivan Coelho. I've seen his name before. And Chip Zdarsky. Oh, he was the writer and artist of this third story, which does not. It looks like more like a comedy thing. Okay. That's cool. Some cool things in there. Great to see that little preview of what Ramos is going to do with Fantastic Four. I'm intrigued. Okay. This is another one. Best of 2000 AD. 2000 AD being the UK book or world or universe. So a lot of UK artists came out of, like, some of their first gigs were working on 2000 AD or Judge Dredd, whatever. It's all in the same world. And it's cool because Judge Dredd is not a superhero book, but it's just as popular in the UK. And that this other character, Rogue Trooper, I know I've seen him around a lot, or he's been around a lot in this universe. Anderson, who this is the girl judge, because she has her own little thing. And then this cover art here is drawn by Hayden Sherman, who is the artist on Absolute Wonder Woman and Batman Dark Patterns. So I don't know if Hayden Sherman is a British artist, but that's a neat cover. So this first story here, Judge Dredd Crossing Ken Dodd, was drawn by Jock. And Jock's a super popular artist. He's done Batman. I think the story, one of the more popular stories he did was Batman One Dark Knight, I think. He works with that company called Distillery also. He did a book with them. And I believe they're releasing, like, I had no idea that he worked on Judge Dredd. And he must have a history with it because they have like Art of Judge Dredd Jock coming out sometime in the future. It's kind of cool. And Jock's known for this, like, he almost takes comic art into like a fine artist territory a little bit. Very painterly and gestural. And it's cool. Like, this cover shows it a little bit, how his black and white art looks like. So yeah, I've not been a huge follower of Jock's work. I think he's great, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I gotta get that Jock book. But yeah, he's good. He's really good. This is Rogue Trooper. Yeah, Rogue Trooper. I don't know the story of Rogue Trooper, but he always looks like this, like, zombie military, sci-fi military thing. It's cool that this is in black and white. Love it. Some great tone work here. So yeah, I mean, wow, look at the complete collections of Rogue Trooper. There's a lot of work there. Oh yeah, Cam Kennedy worked on. Dave Gibbons, the artist on Watchmen, worked on Rogue Trooper. Cam Kennedy, who is one of the, like, I would say he's the most established or most famous Star Wars comic artist, is Cam Kennedy. He worked at Lucasfilm as well, but I know seeing a lot of his, like, comics of Star Wars. So I guess he worked on Rogue Trooper as well. But yeah, it's fun to see that in Free Comic Book Day, to get, like, little tastes and hints. It just exposes you to comics you wouldn't normally be picking up necessarily or know about. This is an artist by the name of D. Israeli. I know he's done some indie stuff before. It's like War of the Worlds. Yeah, based on H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. Cool. I don't know this artist. Sylvia Califani. Anderson Psi Division. Some sort of Psi cop. Yeah, and she has her whole history too. It's funny too. It's funny. I don't think Judge Dredd is known here. That they did that movie with Carl Urban. He was awesome in that. It's known here, but it does not have the same popularity. They had the original movie too with Sylvester Stallone, but it's not as popular in America as it is in the UK. But I love kind of finding out what is more popular in other countries and why that is, and when it comes to comics, like culturally why that is, just the history of it, like how it became super popular. All right, cool. 2000 AD from Free Comic Book Day. The best of free 2000 AD. I guess I should have. All right, this is DC's Free Comic Book Day offering. They have a Superman Unlimited here, and then they talk about all the all-in stuff going on in the Absolute Universe. So that's Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Martian Manhunter. Raphael Albuquerque is a pretty well-known comic artist for DC. So they did this special Superman story here. I don't think he's drawing a Superman. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's currently drawing a Superman book. Sometimes these Free Comic Book Day books, depending on what is in it and what it's about, sometimes they sell really well on like eBay too, because they get really popular and they run out. The popular ones, like the mainstream companies, Marvel, DC, though their books for Free Comic Book Day tend to sell out faster than the other ones. Okay, so they're doing Superman Unlimited. This is the artist, the art and writing team on it. That's what they're showing us. And then on this side is I think they're doing just a short story to tie in all the different absolutes going on. Here's our good old friend, Thick Batman. Here's Absolute Superman. Absolute Wonder Woman. That's neat. They're all tying them together in one story. I don't know if they're like setting up a crossover. Okay. Give us a little summary rundown of the Absolute Universe. Cool. This book and these next three. So, man, I should have done it in proper order. This book and this next book, and then a book after this, I all got at Invisible Jet Comics. That was the first store I went to in the day on Saturday. It was fun. Chris was there. And the awesome thing I went to Invisible Jet Comics and I went to Mission Comics. I tried to frequent stores that I don't normally frequent on a regular weekly basis. So I went to Invisible Jet and Mission Comics to do my two store run. And it's fun because when you go on Free Comic Book Day, and for those of you who were able to this weekend, there's just like a buzz, because there's a lot more people in the store. They usually have, on top of the free comic books that they're selling, they'll give out little tchotchkes or extras. Like Chris at Invisible Jet Comic has this cool tattoo, like a rub-on tattoo or something. I didn't put it on, but it was just kind of neat. They had like stickers and just fun stuff like that, especially for the kids. And then when I went to Mission Comics, they decided to put out all their dollar boxes out on a table outside of the store. So not only are you like walking up to the table and choosing which books you wanted, but you also the next thing right next to that table were all these dollar boxes. So then I found myself like flipping through them. I didn't buy anything from those dollar boxes, but it was just cool. It was a cool way to like build up the hype, get more people to see your store, and then eventually hopefully purchase something. So Chris at Invisible Jet Comics, not only did they have their free comic books, but then she gave like another 10% off for anybody who bought an omnibus. So I didn't do that. Those omnibuses are expensive. But yeah, it's fun. So yeah, I got this one at Chris's store too, Energon. This was one that I really had my eye on just because I enjoyed the last year's free comic book day that was from the Energon universe. I've been enjoying these books, G.I. Joe, Transformers. I've stopped reading Void Rivals, but I still enjoy it. And to see them, or the other thing was, they did a few short stories in here, one for G.I. Joe, one for Transformers, one for Void Rivals, and the artist on the Transformers one is Daniel Warren Johnson. So I love his artwork. Anytime we can get an extra story from him is great. Andrea Milana for the G.I. Joe story. I believe she was the artist on Cobra Commander too, which was pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of good stuff in this one. So I definitely had my eye. This was one of the ones I was like, I need to get this one for sure. So this is Andrea Milana. This is the artist on Cobra Commander, the Cobra Commander series that came out. It's cool. They keep going back to this moment. This was like the not classic, but like the key moment that combined G.I. Joe and Transformers in the Skybound world. It's where Starscream just like totally splatted one of Duke's co-pilots. But it seems like it's coming to a head more and more. They're having like more of the crossover of the Transformers and the G.I. Joe as the series go on. They're revealing more and more. Tracker. There it is again. Invented that sound effect for the series. Okay, here's the Daniel Warren. That was cool. That was a pretty cool story. Pretty full, pretty packed. Here's the Daniel Warren Johnson story. And when I flipped through this, when I first got it, I just laughed. Because Daniel Warren Johnson, as great of a comic book artist, writer he is, he also loves rock and roll and music and wrestling. So he injects all of that to no matter what story he's writing, whether it's Transformers, Wonder Woman, or his own book, The Moon is Following Us. He's always inserting those components: wrestling, action, and rock and roll. Do a Power Bomb was another one like that. So he did that for the Transformers. Check this out. This is jazz, but he's ripping it on a keyboard. It's so cool. It's like DJing. It's a total throwaway story, but it's awesome. Love the sense of speed that he captures in that jazz drawing. Oh, and Jazz goes to a jazz club. Get it? Because his name is Jazz. It's fun. It's great Dana Warren Johnson stuff. I love it. Sometimes he takes himself really seriously. He'll take the stories really seriously. Sometimes he'll just have fun with it. And he's got this great balance between both of them. Super talented guy. This is the final story. It's a Void Rival story. Guess just like hyping up more the war between the planets. All right. What's the Energon universe? Oh, that's a cool cover. Or a cool double pager. That's a good one. All right. This one was like a big surprise for me, because I never heard of it, didn't know about it, and it's written by Post Malone, and it's a book called Big Rig, produced by Vault. They do some very off the beaten path kind of work, a lot of horror. They had a book called Barbaric, which was kind of popular for them. Yeah, just different, like non-superhero-y kind of stuff. So I don't know what this is about, but it's created by Post Malone, and he was one of the writers. And then this artist, I think he was the artist on Barbaric, I'm not sure. I love how it's in black and white. It's cool. The artwork's like really striking. Yeah, I think he's the Barbaric artist. Yeah, it seems like some sort of horror story. No idea. Who knew Post Malone was a writer? Some sort of like religious ties. It's neat. I don't know if this is the final format of the book, like this black and white with the gray tones in it, or if they're actually going to color it. I'm not sure, but I like the way it looks black and white. So I'm guessing it's about a truck driver with the mark of the devil or something. Yeah, artwork's great. Here we go. Big Rig. Yeah, there's a supernatural vibe to it. Horror. And Post Malone. So it looks like I don't know if it's already come out or they're just releasing it as one thick graphic novel as opposed to individual issues, but I've never heard of Big Rig before. Oh, this is cool. Some designs. Trucker. Yeah, there he is. That's the artwork from Barbaric. The Dark Ages demon hordes plague Europe as hell invades Earth. The Six Petals, a secret sect of the Knights Templar, are in desperate need of a holy weapon to drive back the scourge. Big Rig. It was cool, though. And it's a whole issue. It's not just a snippet, too, so that's neat. These are the kind of things, I mean, depending on the popularity, that sometimes sell well just because it's a full issue and it might be hard to find in the future. All right, Big Rig by Adrian Wassel and Nathan Gooden. I feel as if the soda I had wasn't enough caffeine. Soda doesn't often have that much caffeine. It's more the sugar in soda. Chat is slow. Nobody's talking. We need more Mod Squad in here. Mark's music obsession, he's paying attention to what's being said. Yeah. Doesn't need to distract. Zaid Comics, what's up, Phil? Good to see you. Just finishing up on going over the books that I picked up on Free Comic Book Day. Don't know if you got to make it to your local store. There's some good stuff here. You can go back and watch earlier what I did. And also did an unboxing of Joe Sontag's Reaper Destroyer. It looks great. Great book. And also an unboxing of Batman Hush 2 Ashcan. A bunch of copies of that. Okay, this next book is related to one of the books I reviewed last week. And I don't think this was I don't think this was considered part of Free Comic Book Day because I didn't see it advertised. I didn't see it at the first store. Maybe it was. I don't know. You guys tell me. I feel like this was just like maybe extras they had from going to WonderCon. But this was like, I think this was a preview for Planet Death that was released at different conventions. And Mission Comics, the second store that I went to, had this part of their Free Comic Book Day. So I was like, holy cow, I just looked at the first issue of Planet Death that came out. I really liked it. I don't know if you guys remember, it was the one where they printed it on like the nostalgic paper and blah, blah, blah. But the artwork in it was incredible. And it's definitely one to watch that I will be picking this up in the future once it releases. But this is cool. When I saw people reviewing things that they picked up at cons, and oftentimes there's con exclusives. This was one of them that I saw. I was like, oh, that would be so cool to get. And, you know, local stores didn't really carry it. They just kept it for people that attended the cons. So I was really psyched that Mission Comics had this on their Free Comic Book table. So check it out. The last one we saw last week was in color, which the colors were amazing. But it's so cool to see it in black and white as well. I think I might have mentioned I would have loved to see the artwork in black and white. Here we go. Very cool. I remember this page from... I remember this from last week. Yeah, I remember this page. So this was the book that we looked at last week. Remember? That's what that's from. Here's the colors of that page. And here's the black and whites. So cool to see them next to each other. Yeah, I love this. Crazy amount of hatching. I get this like Lord of the Rings. This is from the colored one too. That's the color version. Beautiful colors. Awesome colors. And this is the black and white. Looks great in black and white too. And both of these are printed on the same paper stock. The stock that I'm like, I kind of wish it wasn't on that stock. I want to see this on better stock. But whatever. It's their shtick. But yeah, this series looks like it's going to be amazing. I read the story on this one. It was great. It was a great setup. Very simple setup, but very intriguing. So I hope the rest of the story is going to be good. So this stuff is different. This stuff is not included in this colored version. So we're getting a sneak peek. We're getting a sneak peek of stuff that's coming out later. Great. Coming out May. So yeah. Oh wait, Planet at the Zero. That's what we just got. WonderCon was earlier in the year. It's nice. Interview, some sketches here. character sketches, color samples. So good. July, the first issue. Planet Death Zero is what we picked up last week. In July will be issue 1. Adding that to my pull list. Then this other story here, it's got me a little interested. It's called Cul-de-sac, and the artist they have on this one is a guy by the name of Jonathan Wayshak. I was been exposed to his artwork on social media, and also he drew one issue of the Spawn Violator series, which was cool. And I also know that Jason Bascom, Unhinged, who comes into my chat frequently, I know he's a big fan of Wayshak stuff, so it's neat to see that he's going to be on this series. It's a 4-issue, again, similar format to Planet Death, 4 issues, prestige format, starting later this year. So that'll be one to look out for. Wayshak gives me I feel like he lives in the same world as like Sam Keith, Bill Sienkiewicz. It's like very expressive. Even Jason Bascom, very expressive, really free, aggressive, experimental line work. There's another series called Survive. Some of the artwork from there. Doug Braithwaite. So it seems like they are releasing same format for all of these 4-issue prestige format books. Kind of like Distillery, surprisingly enough, but I'm more intrigued by these kind of stories than Distillery stories. Because Distillery does that prestige format, and they do limited series as well. And this is another one, Ordained. Wait, this one is, excuse me, Save Now. Huh, I thought that said Eve Now. Save Now. And who is the artist on this? Louis LaRosa. That's cool. Or at least he did the cover. This one's Ordained. Some sort of priest story. Habitat. Oh, speaking of Sienkiewicz, guess they got him on this. So yeah, it's so funny. It seems like they live in that same world as Distillery. So I'm curious to see how these will do if they're doing prestige format. Unless prestige format is just I'm assuming prestige format is the size, like more of like an 8.5 by 11 size versus comic book size. Or prestige format might mean the square bound, like thicker issue. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. That might be, maybe it's comic book size, but maybe it's thicker and square bound. I don't know. Let's see. Timmy Mello says, I'm just lurking and traveling. Nice, no worries. What are words for when one listens anymore? When no one listens anymore? That does sound like a song. I've come back to inform you that the notification for the stream popped up on my phone literally just now. Mark, that was deep. Comrade Sammy says, Emo Trash, did you see my request I asked earlier? It's very important. Emo Trash says he DM'd me. Oh, this is John. He DM'd me on Discord, though it would seem he's not appeared here or in Gothics. He might be busy. Give John a break. Dang it, John. On the day I'm not busy, too. He was not counting on Rocky today. Who was? I wasn't even counting on myself today. But I did wanted to get this stream in a little earlier than I normally do, like pre-lunch, but you can hear my stomach grumbling. So that's not a good sign. I did want to get this stream in earlier, and I don't want to say get it out of the way, but get it in there so that we were able to look at these free comic book day books. All of these guys. One more time. This is the haul from Book Day for me. So this is pretty good. I don't usually get this many books on Free Comic Book Day. Sometimes I'll get like 4 or 5 books, but we're talking 7 books I got on Free Comic Book Day. It's pretty good for me. So excited to read all those through. And also to go through and read Joe Sontag's Reaper Destroyer and all the fun extras that he looped into this one. Really good. Very impressive presentation and publication. It's definitely working for me. As I showed you guys earlier, the 10 copies of Batman Hush 2 exclusive launch party Ashcan. Pretty awesome. Really worth it. It's worth it. It was worth it, the extra few bucks to get this many copies. Could be used in the future. Stay tuned for my channel. And then the last thing I wanted to look at was this book that I picked up at my bookstore, used bookstore. Let me just get this. Get in good framing here. This book, Graphic Ink, the DC Comics art of Frank Quitely. Frank Quitely is one of the top artists working in comics right now. He's worked with Mark Millar a lot on Jupiter's Legacy, I think is the one, or Jupiter's Crossing, I can't remember. One of the Jupiter books. He's worked with him on some recent books, like on Ambassadors. He did a long run on X-Men. What was that called? New X-Men. That's when I first discovered his work. That was his Marvel work. This is his DC work. He did some stuff on like Flex Mentallo. He's done Batman. He's just great. Really great artist. So this book, I didn't even know this book existed, actually. I just saw it at the used bookstore. It's called the Graphic Ink. And it's just a compilation of a lot of the short stories, some covers that he did. Really impressive breadth of work. I feel like there's quite a few people I've talked about the artist Rafael Grampa before, he's one of my favorites that's working right now. He's doing that Batman Gargoyle of Gotham book. I feel like he was influenced by Frank Quitely. They have very similar styles in their artwork. Frank Quitely also did some iconic Superman stories, which a lot of the new Superman movie is probably going to be based off of some of the things that he did. But whenever somebody has like these, like, not a biography book, but just a compilation of their work that spans over decades, it's really impressive. You get to see kind of where they came from and where their style came from. And I believe Frank Quitely's a British artist as well. That's cool. I always find like the sense of scale that Quitely has in his drawings. They just feel really huge and like superhuman, the proportions. Some Transmetropolitan. I've never read this book, Transmetropolitan. This came out a long time ago. But I was always curious about it. Maybe I should look it up. This character's name is Spider. But look at the size of that fist. It just feels huge. I mean, he is huge. In this particular story, he is proportion huge. But there's something about the way that Quitely does anatomy and his level of detail that gives it this grand scale. His drawings. Whoop. Mark's Music say, "What's your name, John?" The call is out. If not on Wednesday, you usually stream Monday or Friday, so I'm not surprised by this stream. There you go. I'll take it, Comrade Sammy. Sometimes on Mondays, though, I'll stream later in the day. This one was probably on the early side. I wasn't counting on Gothics either. Then again, I also shouldn't be surprised because she just got back from California. I missed her, so I had to go share my harassment beyond just Rocky. Baby Robin in these spandex. Yep. Got the short end of the stick, that guy, when it came to costumes. When costumes were being handed out, he got the fish scale underwear, the chainmail underwear stick. So yeah, some of this stuff is non-superhero. I think he was doing short stories in, this is from like Urban Legends books, The Big Book of Death. So non-superhero kind of stories. And yeah, he's got a lot of fine detail in his drawings. Great compositions too. Get into more of his mainstream stuff in a second. Here we go. So this is like a whole short story of a Batman short story. I think that was broken up over a few issues. Batman Scottish collection. It's great posing. Sometimes these books have like sketches, but this one doesn't. This is all just like finished artwork compiled together. He must ink with like a kind of some Richard Corbin in his work too. I can see that. It's a great face. Yeah, everything feels like 1,000 feet tall. There was a independent book, a crowdfunded book that I backed called Axe Wielder John. And that artist, I feel like, is really influenced by, I know he's influenced by Quitely because he's visited Quitely before, gone to his studio, and is a huge fan of his work. So you can see it. It's like this certain feel, look. Emo Trash says booty shorts would honestly be preferable. Booty shorts is better than spandex. Oh my gosh. Salvador Dali type character? Yes. It was a short story about Dali that he did. Bruce Wayne is too damn rich to cheap out on Robin's costume like that. It puts him in his place. Reminds him who is boss. This is weird to see Frank Quitely draw Plastic Man because he's disturbingly real the way he draws him. This is cool. This is a cover to Earth 2. I remember this cover. Yeah, they're just like chunky. Whoops, chunky. Oops. Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. Well, this is a Bolland. I think Brian Bolland's done some covers for Invisibles. Grant Morrison's the writer on this. Yeah, I loved his run on New X-Men. Quietly's run on New X-Men. That was some of the first times I was exposed to his artwork. Wow, this is getting cool. These are the Authority. Great. Some various covers that he's done. Great. Wow. Looks like he painted this digitally. I mean, not digitally, traditionally. Yeah, it's getting good here. Classic Jonah Hex cover. I never got Jonah Hex. He was always this like scar-faced cowboy. Freaky. It's like weird fleshy smile. We Three, that was an interesting story. It was like these animals that were artificially modified to be these cyborg kind of characters, but these three escaped and tried to survive. Yeah, it was an interesting story. I read about it. This is a classic, absolute All-Star Superman cover by Quietly. This just sold for a lot of money too. I think the original did. Yeah, these are some of his covers he did for All-Star Superman. Awesome covers, man. Yeah, the way he drew, it's hard to describe his artwork. It just made it feel so real. Like you're standing there looking over the shoulder of Clark Kent. I think it's the amount of detail that he put into it. How about these? These are better pants, right, Emo? For Robin? It's a better look. It's cool. Yeah, I love this. I have not read many of these Batman and Robin stories that he does, so it's cool that I can now read it in this book. He has an awesome version of Batman and Robin now. Wow. Look at the bat cycle, whatever you call this. That's cool. Guess it ends on this Batman stuff. Oh, here's some extra covers. Cool. Yeah, that looks so real. Just feels so real. Bigger than life. And underwear. Oh, maybe he's Scottish. Maybe Frank Quitely is Scottish. Yes, I think he's Scottish. Jupiter's Legacy is what he is. He's worked with Mark Millar. There we go. Cool find. You know how much I paid for this book? This super thick book? $15. Pretty cheap. Always go look at your used bookstores from some good deals. The bookstore that I go to often in the city is called Green Apple Books. They have great deals on. They used to have a bigger graphic novel section than they do now, but it used to be one of my favorite stores to go into in the city to find some gems. So $15 for this is pretty awesome, considering cover price is $40. So it's a good, if you like Frank Quitely's work, it's a good compilation of it. I would have preferred if it had some behind the scenes sketches in it more, but the format's awesome and the printing quality and the stories they've included is awesome. Okay, I'm here. Start over, John says. John, I'm almost done.
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
Welcome. Did you get harassed enough to make it in here by emo? That is much better, Robin. Acceptable. Bruce definitely overcompensated with Tim Drake's Robin design, which is bulletproof, especially after what happened to Jason Todd. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was scarring on Batman's psyche. Bruce Wayne is just self-centered, can afford himself a complete head-to-toe costume with armor and utility belt, but the Boy Wonder barely gets a glorified leotard outfit and some effing elf shoes. Do better, Bruce. Both are acceptable than that first page. Damian Wayne and Dick Grayson as Batman. Dick Grayson's my favorite Robin. Fancy meeting you. John's here. It's not the same without John. Thank you, John, for coming in. This Batman is Dick. This is Dick. Yeah, right. This is Dick Grayson. Mark's music obsessions call worked. Mark called it out. He wrote it in the chat. Your sound bite, and you came. What is the chat lag now? Well, Rocky found out I'm here next 30 minutes. Maybe. That was short. I did, and the cover is just wrong. Yeah, it is an interesting angle, isn't it? Why did you do that, Quitely? That's a cool cover. I think there's a million different covers. I don't know why they picked the crotch Robin for that cover. So surprisingly. Okay, so what is this nonsense about stopping soon? That's all I got, John. We talked, we looked, we laughed. Oh, okay, I'll show you one more thing, just for John. Ouch. Old man, getting up. This has been an interesting read that I got from the library recently. I don't know if anybody's heard of this book or artist. It's called Search and Destroy. It's a manga by Atsushi Kaneko. Don't know this artist at all. Know nothing about this. The reason I picked it up is the art was so different. So interesting for me. Why? Because most manga art that you look at, or that I look at least, seems to be inked by nib, so really fine lines, very, very super fine detail, not much thick or thin, usually like one line weight in the inking of this book. But as I was flipping through the book, because oftentimes when I look through manga books, I have no idea what the story's about. So I'll look at it for the artwork, and I was surprised because I was like, wow, this looks very brush inked, which is not common at all for manga. A lot of like cool brush techniques here. Come to find out, this is all digital, and this particular artist, I was just reading up a little bit about him, was influenced by like the underground punk scene of like Western comics and also manga because he's Japanese. So he kind of merged those styles together, and it's such a cool look. Like that face does not feel like, it doesn't feel like a typical manga face. And a lot of it has to do with the line weight and just the stylization choices that he makes. So I was like, wow, this is cool. Beautiful artwork. And yeah, it's all digital. They said, I think he drew this all on his iPad, which is nuts. But yeah, the inking style here, see the brush lines, the thick, thin brush lines. Really cool style. Very different from what's out there and just stood out to me. And then you add in all this weird characters and sci-fi post-apocalyptic kind of characterization. Look at her. This is a crazy cool design. But yeah, I'm digging it. I looked it up, and I think this is the first volume. I think second volume has not come out yet. And there's a third one also planned. So so all three are available to order, but only the first one has been published yet. So yeah, I'm making my way through this one called Search and Destroy. Very, very cool. The story is pretty intriguing so far. So lots of violence if you haven't seen or haven't noticed. Lots of violence in this. And there's like cyborgs, weird stuff. Like that does not look like a typical manga way of inking. But it is. You kind of see those faces. It's just something about like the line weight and the finish on it is so different. And apparently this is a retelling of Dororo by Osamu Tezuka. I never read that. I should, but I've never read that. So all this cool cyborgy stuff. It's amazing. So there you go. Bonus, John. Bonus comic. Yeah, I love the mixture of influences. He does a cool thing with the sound effects too. They're all within these word balloons as opposed to just floating out there. And then they're hand lettered. It's a really interesting way. Skid, boom. It's cool. Very, very cool. So yeah, if I like this first volume, I'll definitely buy the next two that are coming out. It's really fresh style. Interesting is a polite way of putting it. Emo trash. She did it. Nice work bugging John to get in here. Appreciate it. Couldn't tag you when I got here to say hello. Just too ninja. I need to get an iPad, Timmy says. Yeah. I mean, if you can get this looking like this out of an iPad, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I think that's why, I think he was able to work really fast too. It's good stuff. Excuse me. All right, you guys get the idea. There's a lot of head cutting offs or head slicing in this book. a cool use of zipatone here. Atsushi Kaneko is an acclaimed manga creator and illustrator living in Tokyo, Japan. After launching his career with the groundbreaking Bambi and Her Pink Gun, sounds interesting, Kaneko continued with a barrage of subversive and surprising series, including Soil, Wet Moon, Death Co., and his latest, Evil. Synthesizing the manga of his youth with a range of strong influences from punk rock and cinema to lowbrow art and Western comics. Yeah, that East meets West in his artwork. It's beautiful. Really cool. I personally will rally against the Apple cult. Oh, emo. John, too bad you weren't here sooner. I'm not busy today, so I had the whole stream to hang. Timmy Mello, to draw on, borrow one first, see if you like it or not. Some artists prefer iPads, some hate them. Comrade Sam is trying to convince me to stream tomorrow because I'm not busy then either. I might. We'll see. I do have to get a draw stream in this week, and I will have my Wednesday stream. So you can do my Tuesday comics, Rocky Comrade says. Maybe. I will be busy tomorrow, most definitely, Emo Trash says. Definitely to draw on with that Procreate program. Procreate's cool. I've used Procreate. There's another one. I don't know if there's an iPad version, but there's I've heard of Clip Studio. I've never tried that. I'm hoping to get either an old 12.9 iPad or the new 13 iPad Pro. Yeah, sometimes you can get just the model that's right behind the new model for more affordable price, and they pretty much do the same thing. I just hate for you to spend too much time on one to find out you don't prefer it. Yeah. There is more than Procreate. I'm not that versed on the drawing programs. I do find that oh, I'm not shooting the fat. We're ending the fat. I do find that I get way more fulfillment drawing traditionally, but I get way more done when I draw digitally. But the digital drawing, you get lost in it. Sometimes you don't know which way is up, and you're constantly tweaking and changing because you have unlimited undos. So, but I mean, if I could get something that looks as good as this in digital, that'd be pretty cool. For a black and white comic is what I'm thinking too. I know you can do amazing painting stuff and all sorts of drawing on. It's almost hard to tell now the difference between digital and traditional art. Look at that. Those. I'm gonna flip here. Those kind of. Go here. No. Whoop. Look, I made it a little bigger, John. These kind of marks here, great. The fact that that's all digital, it looks so real. I mean, so traditional. Sometimes digital stuff looks too clean and perfect, but this has got a nice grit to it. I'm sure it's the brushes that this artist is using. Yeah, that's great. All right, wrapping up here. Closing the fat. That's right. I do own the old Clip Studio Paint CD home studio. Timmy Mello says. Do a master study tomorrow, Comrade said. Sammy says that works too. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if I can time that out. Because I do, like I said, I do want to get a master study in here. Continue on that Daredevil Frank Miller page. It's coming out great, and we need to keep moving forward on that one. Battle of the Bulge. Awesome Gorilla Toast Addict. You are not the first person to mention those Gorillas figures. Did you mention it last stream, or was that somebody else? You're not the first person. Actually, the sun is shining a little bit more in my office too, and you can see them better, those Gorilla figures. Thank you. I've been debating on a tablet too, especially for photo editing and to use as a prompter, but I don't know the first thing about a good tablet. All I know are iPads, and iPads are pretty solid. They're very expensive, more affordable than there's affordable versions out there, but very expensive in general, but solid for artwork. And a lot of it is not just the iPad, it's like the pencil tool, the actual like pencil that you buy like in Apple's case is the Apple Pencil, but the sensitivity on those pencils are very different. I know people that have different brand tablets, non-Apple tablets, and the pencil tool isn't as sensitive to the pressure, the different pressure you place down, or also the angle of the pencil digitally. The Apple Pencil is super sensitive with that. It's very realistic of like angle, tilt, pressure sensitivity. So yeah, you got to do a couple tests and see. Tons of reviews out there. Go check them out. Oftentimes, the tools. Whenever I'll always look at the artwork and I dictates like, oh, they drew that on an iPad, so you can get that on iPad. So that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, it just depends. Good to see you, Toast Attic. You never know; it might show up some point today. Krita is freeware. Oh, free and open source software. I've never heard of Krita. Krita. 1200-ish for the latest iPad. Yeah, it's a little pricey. It is, but see if you can find. Sometimes Apple has refurbished ones, and then they come with the same warranty, so those might be worth it. Or like I'd mentioned earlier, maybe like a lower version than the current one out, so you can get like better prices. There's a great site that I use called macrumors.com, all one word, MACRUMORS.com. And they have on it, it's called a buyer's guide. And the cool thing about that, if you like click on the tab for buyer's guide, they have it for each one of the Mac products. And they tell you, is now a good time to buy it? So they kind of track the cycle of releases for that particular product. So they'll say like, oh, it's been 240 days since the newest version of the Apple Watch came out. Better not buy one yet because they're more than likely a new one's coming out. So you can kind of time your buying. I've done this before where I time my buying of knowing when is a good time to buy it. Like you don't want to plunk down $1,200 and then the next thing you know, 2 weeks later, they come out with a new version. You could have actually gotten it cheaper. So check out macrumors.com. They give all sorts of great articles about the products, reviews, stuff that's new. And also that buyer's guide has been really helpful for me when I buy Apple things. Mark's Music Obsession says, I have 3 iPads, 2 that have been mine and 1 that was mom's. Oh, dang. Yeah. And you can use them for multiple things too. I do have a couple extra iPads lying around, but they're really old. But yeah, you can use them for multiple things. I've even seen some people, if you mail in your iPad, you can turn them into these like fancy digital frames or whatever. Emo Trash says was like $600 for me. Facebook Marketplace, if you trust, and eBay, if you trust where you're buying it from. Apple, I've bought stuff from Apple refurbished before. There is what's the website? Oh gosh, what was the name of that website? Backmarket.com. Is that right? Yes, that's another website you can check out. Man, I should be getting like commissions for posting links. Backmarket.com, one word. They sell used stuff, and I've had pretty good success. I usually buy it. Sometimes I'll buy like used iPhones there. And they pretty much just source different refurbished sellers. They source it all in one spot. They give you ratings. They give you return policy. Their shipping policy has been great. I've had to return stuff. I've sold stuff on that site before. So backmarket.com might be the way to go, especially if you're looking up used stuff. Facebook Marketplace, eBay. I get a little bit more nervous when it's like high ticket items because the return policy, you never know, right? You never know who's on the other side of that. Local community college might have some you could play on. Yeah, possibly. Came with all the attachments it needs, something Apple is no longer known for. Yeah. Oh, there's Krita's page. All right, John, we'll have to check out what this is. Have you used it before yourself, John, or you just heard other people? Krita. Wow, that's cool. All right. Definitely going to check this out. Krita.com or .org. Best alternative on a budget is the 12.9 inch iPad, which is going around $200 to $400. Wow, that's pretty cheap. They have some from 2020. Nice. Yeah, I have an old, like one of the first iPad Pros that came out, like the big screen ones, like, I don't know, at least 7 or 8 years ago, maybe. I still use it, and it has Procreate on it, still works. So you can do that too. John, you could probably use your spare iPads as a stream cam monitor. You could. Very happy with my Windows computer and my Samsung phone and my Huion tablet. That all work perfectly in tandem together. All right, emo trash. I don't know. I've got Apple's too far into my bloodstream. It will be impossible to pull that out. Apple's mostly marketing, not superior otherwise. It's design. It's lifestyle. It's street cred. Toast Addict's asking, Emo, what do you suggest besides iPad then? I think she said the Huion. I can get like 9th gens models on Amazon for like $250. Fast and affordable. All right, there you go. Yeah, Amazon's you get better security when it comes to like return policies on Amazon too. Look around on the Huion site. They got a ton of options. All right, do I got to wait for you to post the link? There you go. There's the link. Everyone, Toast Addict, Timmy Mello. That's the link. That's the issue, Rocky. It's not. I do have Crit as well, though. Hardly used it. Still in the sketch stage, but I'm definitely moving to digital once I get better equipment. Sounds awesome. Then we're going to see even more profile pictures, Timmy Mello. 9th gens are 10.2 Retina displays with A13 bionic chips. Wow, you guys are on it. Huion is pretty solid for drawing, which I wouldn't mind, but I want something I can use for a little bit of everything, like teleprompting. Oh, and I know, are you streaming, Toast Addict? I know Huion has some with screens, but aren't. I have a wonky Gaomon drawing tablet, but it's also definitely an old model. Well, I mean, there's lots of alternatives out there, but Apple's the best. I'm very biased. Yes, I'm very biased, emo trash. Apple's the best. Yeah, I've bought into it. I've drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, that's all I got today. That was it. Happy free comic book day. Hopefully you guys got to go to your local bookstore, local comic book store. I know some stores, when they didn't sell out, they still have those issues at their stores that you can pick up. They kind of extend it because otherwise, what are they going to do with free comic book days books from 2025? So yeah, if you didn't get a chance, go swing by. They do sell out though. Last time I didn't get to go to free comic book day last year. And there were certain books I wanted and I missed out on them, so I didn't get it. So it happens, but it was a fun time for me this year. Fun supporting my local stores and picking up those books. A lot of fun stuff. Thanks everybody for coming in here. You saw the unboxings too. Really cool stuff today. I've got a lot to read now. I got to eat lunch though. My stomach's grumbling like crazy. But thanks so much for joining me. I'll try and stream tomorrow, Comrade Sammy. We'll see. I do have to fit a master study in. And if I wait till after Wednesday, then it becomes even harder. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get it in tomorrow. That would be good. It would actually be good to try and get one in, because I do have to do it sometime this week. For those of you who don't know, I do a master study stream where I am reproducing a comic book page. My goodness, my stomach's grumbling. I'm sorry and I apologize. I'm reproducing a comic book page from scratch, from zero to finished, pencils, inks, and right now I'm working on Frank Miller page from Daredevil in the 1980s. It's amazing. You can go back and watch some of the previous streams that I have in a playlist under Frank Miller. You can watch other streams that I've done for other artists as well. But go check it out if you're interested in. If you are interested in it, I do live stream. This next live stream that I do, I'm planning on also watching the David Finch, Klaus Janson stream when they're inking, which I think is really appropriate for what I'm doing. So I think it'd be cool to have that playing while I'm inking. But yeah, it's also a fun time of just connecting with everybody on chat and doing that live and learning the things we do while we're doing it. So come join me. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do, so you can get the notification when I do a master study stream. And finally, the regular show that I produce every week is My Wednesday Comics. Every Wednesday, I try and stream after I come back from the comic book store and go over the books that I liked and that I picked up and talk about why and just have a fun time with all of you guys in chat about it. Always promoting comic books here. For the love of comics is what I like to say. So I'm always promoting comic books here. And if you love comic books, you love talking about them, and you love going on random conversations with the people in the chat, come join us. We need you. 541 subscribers. We're close to 3,000 watch hours, which will get us into paid subscriptions, and we'll take this channel to another level. So I could totally use your support, and always am thankful for everybody that I meet here, all my regulars. It's been awesome hanging out with you guys on a Monday. I'll see you soon. Stay tuned. Hopefully Tuesday we can do it. All right? All right, take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Go get something to eat like I will, and I will catch you soon. Take care.